So I recently watched the UK's The Office for the first time, and something caught me off guard. The show was only 14 episodes, like in total, whereas the American adaptation ended up going on for 9 seasons. That's 201 episodes in total. Even though the British version was wildly successful, it only lasted for 2 short series. Why is that? I think very few people would argue that the American Office adaptation got better in the later seasons. And season 8 was the show's first to be certified rotten on Rotten Tomatoes.
No! God, please, no! No!
So instead of going out on top, it's easy to argue that they milked the thing for all it was worth, even after the star left the show.
I declare bankruptcy!
This is just one example, but there seems to be a recurring trend in American television. It lasts too damn long. And more often than not, it diminishes the quality of the series as a whole. I'm gonna jump into some hot takes here, but first go hit subscribe and turn on your notifications so you can hear me throw a fit about more nonsense, because we're producing dope videos here on CinemaBlend all the time. That include like celebrity interviews and stuff. It's not just all me complaining, but it's some of me complaining. So let's do it! The proof. So first, let me jump into some more examples, specifically shows that have been quite popular in recent years. The Walking Dead. Man, did I love this show. The first couple seasons were great. Freaking Frank Darabont. Then seasons 7 and 8 became the first to receive rotten audience scores. I mean, how many people do you know that dropped off of The Walking Dead? Probably a lot. I'm one of them. And again, like The Office, we're still trucking along after the star's departure from the show. In all fairness, it has come back strong in recent seasons, but I don't think anyone's arguing that they really managed to capture the subtle magic of those first few. They are now going on season 11. Dexter ended its 8-season run with its second rotten score, the first being season 6. Grey's Anatomy is at 16 seasons. The Big Bang Theory went on for 12. Modern Family just ended after 11. Friends, Smallville, True Blood, How I Met Your Mother, 2.5 Men, Desperate Housewives, Orange is the New Black, Lost, 24, the list goes on. Although they usually manage to end on a solid note. These are all shows that notoriously just lasted too damn long. And if you managed to stick around the whole time and loved every episode, that's great. Sometimes it works for me too, but very rarely do they manage to make it out in their prime. So why does this phenomenon of beating a dead horse in modern television exist, and why am I implying that it's specific to America? American versus British television. It's easier to explain when we acknowledge the comparison to British TV, like the number of seasons and the number of episodes. I know they call them series, not seasons. Meet me halfway so we can simplify this conversation. An American network television show will traditionally have 20 to 24 episodes per season with a 3-month hiatus, whereas British TV will traditionally have 6 to 8 episodes with an 11-month hiatus. So even if their shows do last for a number of seasons, we're still not receiving an absurd amount of episodes, which usually result in tons of filler and episodes that deter from the main continuity.
It was driving me crazy.
Yeah, sometimes that's great and you really get to know the characters better, but quite often it's exhausting. This is likely the reason that you always hear of your friends falling off of their favorite TV shows. Oh, I watched the first 4 seasons and then I fell off because it just became exhausting. I started most of the shows that I listed earlier. It becomes daunting. And rarely does it really get better. Obviously, this has everything to do with money. The American Office got its highest ratings in season 5.
And I don't really know how someone does that.
So why wouldn't they keep going? As viewership and quality went down in the following seasons, it was a logical time to pull the plug. Another important comparison to British television is the writer's room, or lack thereof. Obviously, Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant wrote all 12 episodes of The Office's regular series run. But it's rare in American television for the same showrunners to stick around for the duration of a long-running series. After all, that's a huge commitment, and if it's successful enough to still be on the air, other career opportunities are going to present themselves. Greg Daniels was showrunner and producer of the first 4 seasons of the American Office adaptation. Then he stepped back for seasons 5 through 8. This is less common in the UK. The original creator's vision will often bring the show to fruition and then see it through to its final episodes. Now, there are exceptions to this rule, obviously. There's the Doctor Who's and other British TV shows that have been running forever. There's also American shows like Seinfeld that ended with both critical acclaim and maximum viewership. And some shows, mostly episodic comedies, have managed to keep their baseline quality intact throughout the series run. But right now, we're looking at this from a more broad perspective. The point that I'm making can be summed up like this. As I am a huge Aaron Sorkin fan. Sorkin left The West Wing after season 4. Was it really necessary to pack a room full of writers to pick up where he left off? The following seasons weren't bad, but they also notoriously weren't as good. Maybe they should have went out on top. I mean, if it's not his show anymore, whose is it? Writing somebody else's characters after they've left the show, to me, often just feels like mainstream fan fiction. The solution. Wrap it up, dude. Obviously, that's not always an option because of, money and capitalism and shit. But you can tell when a show was conceptualized with an ending in mind and then the network just let it drag on for as long as it possibly could. Well, that doesn't always have to be the case. For example, I'm a big fan of the miniseries. Give me a freaking ending. And if it is going to last for a while, show me you have a conclusion in mind. We always knew that Game of Thrones was going to end after 8 or 9 seasons. Yes, I know they should have gone for 9 and taken their time. I understand that.
You know nothing.
But it made the show so much more palatable. Not to mention, each season was only 10 episodes, which is why it's less of a surprise that David Benioff and D.B. Wise were able to stay on as showrunners through the show's finale, which is rare for an 8-season series. The Duffer Brothers have said that Stranger Things will end after season 4. Because they have an ending in mind and they can't let the show drag on forever, that's the way it's done. There's no grasping at new, pointless plot threads just to fill an episode order. I'm also a fan of the anthology series, which is becoming more popular in recent years. American Horror Story, True Detective, Fargo. We have a whole new set of characters to explore each season. Also, there is hope in the way that networks are going with the current model. Some are starting to opt for shorter seasons, and streaming has really changed the game, given the creative freedoms those platforms provide. They'd rather produce 10 or so episodes of high-quality content instead of stretching it out to 22 in order to fill airtime. Look, I don't mind long-running shows, and I've watched a lot of them, but far too often I find myself skipping 4 or so seasons in between and coming back for the finale, because it's just too damn much. But what do you think? Do American television shows last too damn long, or am I just being a whiny baby? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious. Let's have a civil discussion. Even though I know the internet's not civil, I'm just preparing myself for that.
Welcome to the internet.
While you're down there, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on your notifications. That way you know every time we post new content. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.